I don't know.
Yeah, going on.
It's almost like that, like there's a call waiting thing going on. Are you getting a call?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's try again.
Okay.
All right. What were you
Okay.
saying?
I was just saying that yes, it was always in the back of my mind what to do about music, how to incorporate it into my life.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. So then it
Yeah.
was working on that musical that made you think, okay, that kind of gave you a push more into that direction.
Yeah. Yeah. And after that musical, I had to move back to the States from England.
Okay.
And because I would get a visa for every acting job I got there, but I couldn't get an overriding visa to just like get a job while I wasn't acting.
Oh.
And so that was tricky, and I decided to move back to the States, and the acting world in the States is very different from in Europe. And so I just kind of fell out of love with that and started experimenting with music.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah.
When you say the acting world is very different in the United States, what do you mean? I mean, you don't have to go.
Well,
You don't have to
it's
get too far into the weeds, but I'm just
okay.
curious.
I feel like it's more of a respected art form in the UK, especially.
Oh.
There's a real tradition of, going to drama school and
Yeah.
and studying the craft, which I loved. And here it's very commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes
So
sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
What was it like working with Tom Waits? He seems like he's probably an intense guy, but I don't know.
Well, he actually wasn't part of our production. He
Oh.
advised from afar because this was in
Oh.
London, and it was a remount of The Black Rider, which I think was first done in the 90s. But the
Oh,
director
okay.
was Robert Wilson, who just passed away.
Oh.
And it was written by Tom Waits and William Burroughs. But
Gotcha.
yeah, but Tom Waits wasn't part of the rehearsal process.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so then when you came back to the United States, I mean, was it right away that you got out of acting, or did you kind of work your way out
Uh,
slowly, or?
it was gradual. I would say within a year or so.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I stopped liking it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's such a tricky profession that if I figured if I wasn't enjoying it, then it wasn't worth putting my energy into anymore.
Right. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
everything always looks so glamorous from the outside, right? But when you're actually
Hmm.
doing it, people don't see what really goes into it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can imagine it's enormously challenging. When you made that switch, and then you're doing music, did you ever, I don't, or maybe even today, like, do you ever think back and do you ever feel like getting back into acting, or is that definitely completely
No,
behind you?
it's definitely completely behind me. Yeah, I just burnt out on it, and the whole idea of that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I, yeah. So no. I mean, if somebody offered me $1 million to be in a movie, I would do it.
Well, of
But
course, yeah, yeah. So, somebody offered you a role in a superhero franchise or something, you'd have to say yes to that.
yeah, yeah. But but yeah, I put that to rest a while ago, and I
Yeah.
haven't looked back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're on a great path now. Like I said,
Thank
I love
you.
what you're doing. Um, do you write any song? Like, have you written any specific songs about your experience in acting?
I have not.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Um, but you know what I am doing now, also in addition to music, is I just trained to be a breathwork practitioner. I saw that you're a hypnotherapist.
I am. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
So,
So you're doing
I
breath
mean,
work.
that's kind of, yeah, and I would say that that's maybe influencing the way I write or the way I sing, even
Oh,
too.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Breathing is such an important part of how you sing. I've been
Yeah.
looking into breath work myself, actually, because I use
Oh, cool.
I use a little bit of it in my sessions, when I tell the client to, focus on your breathing and focus on the rhythm of your breathing and all of that.
Hmm.
But I've been thinking about really learning, really getting into it and learning more about breath work, because I think it would be helpful in everything else I do, or even, even doing the radio show, just not running out of air when I'm, talking, and, sometimes if I'm
Yeah.
talking a lot. Um,
Yeah.
but no, that's really cool that you're doing that, and yeah, I would imagine that would be very helpful with your singing, actually.
Yeah, it's not any sort of like gentle meditation that I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's this 3-part pranayama all through the mouth, and you oxygenate your brain so much that you that your brain shuts off and just all your feelings come out. And
Yeah.
so people don't find it gentle. It's often kind of like people often cry
Oh,
during it.
wow.
But it's really intense but powerful and useful.
Yeah. Oh, I got to learn more
Yeah.
about that. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. That's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And as far as your music, do you play out? Do you play these songs out
Oh
live?
yeah.
Excellent.
All the time. I just had a
Excellent.
record release. Actually, Charlie and I shared a bill for both of our record releases at this club in New York that's called Berlin.
Okay.
And I sing regularly with this band called the Losers Lounge at Joe's Pub. And I sing with a couple other bands too. But yeah, I perform almost once a week these days.
Oh, wonderful. Good.
So,
Good.
yeah.
You're in New York, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I am in New York.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Excellent. The other thing I wanted to ask you too, getting back to they have a Howard Johnson's there, the artwork. I really like the cover.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was my friend Scott MX Turner did that. I love it too. It's very retro. And,
it is.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I got the idea about the nostalgia. But yeah, it is very retro. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
That is excellent. That is excellent. And then what about what do you have in the future? What's kind of your trajectory? I mean, obviously this album hasn't been out that long, right?
Right. Well, I did a artist residency this summer in Iceland. I was in East
Oh.
Iceland for a month.
Oh, wow.
And I was writing all new songs there, and they gave me this beautiful space, this recording studio, and all the instruments. And but I brought these tiny synths that I was playing, so I've written a whole bunch of new songs on these tiny synths that
Oh.
sound nothing like the current record. That I'm really excited about this new stuff. So I'm going to be recording that with my friend John Kengla, who plays guitar in my band. We're going to be recording that sometime this year and hoping to put that out. I don't know when, but that's what I'm into right now. It's my
Okay.
synth music. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse, it's been wonderful speaking with you. We're going to
Yeah.
in a moment we're going to play this other track after we let you go. We're going to play Saint Teresa and Ecstasy.
Oh, cool.
What should we know about that song? It was such an interesting title.
Oh, thank you. Well, that was inspired by, I was in Rome and two different friends said, "Oh, you have to go see this sculpture in this little church." And it's just magnificent. This sculpture of it's called the Ecstasy of Saint Teresa.
Okay.
And it has like this panel of gold above the sculpture, and there's a window above it. And when the sunlight hits the gold, it lights up the statue. It's just really incredible. And the song is about that, just being really moved by seeing that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
And where's before we let you go, where's the best place for people to go online to keep up with everything that you're doing, all your music and everything?
I post the most stuff on Instagram.
Okay.
So it's just Jesse Kilgus on Instagram. And then the best place to check out my music is Bandcamp, especially if people want to buy it, because Bandcamp gives the artist the most money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But in terms of staying up to date on news, I would say Instagram.
And I like to tell people too, I love Bandcamp, and I like to tell people not only does Bandcamp give the artist the most money, but you get a high quality file. You get a better sounding file than you do if you just stream it on YouTube or whatever. So I really encourage people to use Bandcamp as well.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. All right, Jesse Kilgus, thank you so much. We'll definitely, when you've got some new stuff, when you got some new music, we'll definitely have you back.
Oh, great.
Absolutely. Love what you're doing. We enjoyed speaking with you this morning.
Likewise.
Absolutely. We're going to hit this track, Saint Teresa and Ecstasy. We'll let you go. Oh, and again, congratulations on the breath work. And I got to learn more about that. I'm very curious about that. So we might have to have you.
JessieKilgusBreathwork.com.
Oh, very good. I'll check out the site. We might have to have you back to talk about that too. So we might have you back really soon.
It would be my pleasure.
Okay. Outstanding. All right, Jesse. Thank you so much. All right.
Okay.
Bye. Bye. All right, very cool. That was Jesse Kilgus from New York City. Check out her album. They have a Howard Johnson's there. It is available on Bandcamp, and we're going to play this track. This is Saint Teresa in Ecstasy. And then when we come back, we're going to have Chris Evans from AudioGust with us on Microsoft Teams. Hopefully we don't have any tech issues with Teams. That was unusual what happened there with WhatsApp. We don't usually have any trouble, but I'll clean it up on the podcast version. But here it is. This is Saint Teresa in Ecstasy by Jesse Kilgus.
In Rome I found expansion. My heart exploded into light, like one of those Roman candles that flicker and brighten up the night, or like Saint Teresa in ecstasy, the day she had her epiphany. The angel shot an arrow into her heart, and the sky lit up with a great event and danced over the monuments, and the world paused for a day in celebration, and she felt overwhelming joy and love, and exquisite pain coming from above, and everything combined into the sublime, until ordinary Teresa became divine. Walking around the Roman Forum, listening to Sinead O'Connor. I do not want what I haven't got. Making a pilgrimage up Palatine Hill on my way to see the Bernini that came so highly recommended to me. The humble priest lets me in the tiny jewel box of a church where statues line the walls and gold paint crumbles from the ceiling. I carry on down the aisle just 20 feet or so, and as I arrive, a ray of light pierces through the window, and it catches the golden rays on fire that illuminate the sculpture's face, and I lose myself in awe of this transcendent grace. I see Saint Teresa in ecstasy, the day she had her epiphany, the angel shooting an arrow into her heart, and the sky lit up with a great event and danced over the monument, and the world stopped and time ceased to exist, and I felt overwhelming joy and love, and exquisite pain coming from above, and everything combined into the sublime, as I see ordinary Teresa become
You're listening to Matt Connarton Unleashed on WMNH 95.3. attention when you ask my opinion. This is the point where I want to disappear. You just found out I was anywhere but here. Do we have to do this dance again? Replaying arguments from I don't know when. Disrespecting you is not my intent. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Do we have to do this dance again? Do we have to do this dance again? We're playing arguments from I don't know when. Playing arguments from I don't know when. Disrespecting you is not my intent. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Do we have to do this dance again? Do we have to do this dance again? We're playing arguments from I don't know when. Playing arguments from I don't know when. Disrespecting you is not my intent. I'm sorry.
How catchy is that? Wow. That is, I didn't hear what you said. The project is Audio Gust. And let's see, we have Chris Evans from Audio Gust here with us via Microsoft Teams. Hello, Chris.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, good. Welcome to the show. I love that song. I love the whole album, of course. That is from Falling From Down. And it's just so like, it's the kind of song you tell people, at least I tell people, if that didn't make you move, check your pulse, you might be dead. It's just really, really catchy. And I love the vocals, the layered vocals. Everything about that is it's just really good. I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That is a fun song.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you are in Seattle, is that correct?
Yep, just outside of Seattle.
Just outside of Seattle. Wow, quite a music scene there.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. What can you tell us about the album Falling From Down? I did listen to the whole thing. I really, really like it. Like I said, I love what you're doing sonically. And there's nothing that I've heard recently that sounds quite like it. But what can you tell us about it?
This is my third album,
Okay.
second one this year. And yeah, it's sort of a song about the times these days, basically, like with all sort of angst and sort of the angst about communication and about what's going on in the world and things like that, and how people are pretty stressed about this. And it starts off, with just sort of a set of a darker set of songs than all my previous albums, I think.
Okay.
Songs like Isotope and Falling From Down. And then it hits a song called Easier, which is sort of a reflection of the whole album, which sort of asks the question, man, it seems like it would be easier if I didn't know what was going on. Like if we weren't paying attention to the news and things like that, it seems like life might be easier, and yet you really can't avoid it because it sort of keeps coming back to you. But there's this whole sort of shift in that song where it goes from being this sort of introspective thing to this sort of pop punk banger of a bridge, and then it comes back into the sort of the final verse there. And then the whole album sort of shifts at that point where it sort of goes into hey, things are a bit more, it's as if you weren't paying attention to all of that, and we could just sort of get back to songs about people and about relationships and about the way you feel. And that's sort of where, I Didn't Hear What You Said comes in sort of in that middle part of the album.
Right.
And then it sort of slides back towards the end of the album. So it's, that the whole album is sort of a reflection of the song Easier writ large.
Okay. Yeah, we'll play that one at the end of our conversation because that's another great track. Like I said, I like the whole thing, but yeah, it's interesting too how you're able to take these themes of angst and all of it that people feel but do something that's actually fun and interesting to listen to. Because it's if you can take something that's dark or negative or however you want to think about it, but make something positive out of it, that's the best way, I think, to be able to relate to people and say, here's what I'm saying, but I'm putting it in a package that you're going to enjoy listening to, and maybe we can kind of connect and relate on that level. And so I think it's great. It's
Thank you. Yeah.
melodic and like a lot of these tracks are really fun. What about now specifically that song? I didn't hear what you said. I'm curious to know more about that. It seems to address, as is evidenced by the title, miscommunication and misunderstanding. And was there something specific that sort of pushed you to write that, or maybe just more of a general thing?
Like many people, I'm a bit on the ADD side. And I've certainly run into issues where my head, my mind wandered in the middle of a conversation, and I realized that I'm not quite paying attention to this person that I'm supposed to be talking to right now. They don't know this yet, but it's true. And so I am sort of nodding along, and yet my head is somewhere else, just sort of like in the beginning of that song where it's like this sort of person's just sort of talking to a girl. Mm-hmm. And sort of daydreaming and thinking about her and looking at the necklace that she's wearing. Oh yeah, I got that for her back. What was that? When was that? Back in June, I think it was. And then she's saying something, and you're realizing I'm not hearing this. And in the song, she realizes that she's not being listened to, and yet she's looking right at her.
Right.
She gets a little bit upset about it, which is understandable. And he feels bad about this. I feel bad about this, but it's not on purpose.
Right. Exactly.
And then the second verse is the same thing happens, except for you're at work, right? You're in a meeting somewhere and you're just sort of daydreaming. You didn't expect anybody talking to you in the first place. And so you're just sort of in some meeting, and then they ask you a question and you're like, uh-oh, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what anybody's talking about. And you're sort of, it's sort of embarrassing to get caught in one of those moments there of you were supposed to be paying attention and you weren't.
Right.
And you're totally busted.
Right.
And everybody knows this now. And what are you going to do?
Right. And it's universal. Everyone's been in situations like that. It's all stuff that happens to everybody. Absolutely. But yeah, in the moment though, it's such a terrible feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious too about your history. So you played guitar and bass in some 80s bands. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was in a few bands back in the 80s, actually a little bit in the end of the 90s as well.
Okay.
And nothing big though. I mean, we were all sort of learning and getting better and playing things and playing in clubs and this is like back in Ohio and Michigan and places like that.
Sure.
Yeah, and then I sort of, once I finished university at the University of Michigan, I was, we were trying to do something interesting. I wanted to do a recording thing. We started a company doing podcasts, but it was a little bit early for podcasts because it was the late 80s.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, the thing we made were, if you listen to them now, you go like, those are podcasts, but it was way too early for that.
No kidding.
We shipped them out on audio cassettes to like there's company communication kind of thing.
Okay.
But it was definitely too early for that. So I sort of shifted into writing software and, this is in Massachusetts, actually. This is in Boston and Cambridge area.
Oh, no kidding.
At this point. And so I worked, for a company doing, router tech support and then writing code and building applications and building things in the Mac. And then eventually one of the things that we did caught the eye of Apple and Microsoft, and they flew me out to California and ended up working for Microsoft for 20 years off and on.
Wow.
And some other places, in between some startups and some personal projects. And then a few years ago, I finally finished that and said, I really want to do the music thing again. And so, yeah, I sort of left Microsoft and software at that point and started writing songs. And that's what it's been pretty much for the last 3 years.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Now, was that always kind of in the back of your mind that you would end up back with doing music, or was there a moment of epiphany where you realized you had to get back to it, or how did you, like, just kind of mentally, how did you get back to a place where you said, no, I need to really jump back into this full force. I need to do music.
I bounced back and forth doing music at different times during the software times.
So you
never
disengaged entirely from it.
Well, I mean, there were years where I did almost nothing with it, and the guitars sort of stayed in the closet, but I had the guitars. And then every few years I would sort of, open up like Logic Pro and try to figure out some more stuff on it and maybe do a few songs on it, and then stop for a while and sort of it would come and go. And we had, had a family in there, we had kids in there, so a whole bunch of things happened.
Yeah.
But I always loved that, and there was an aspect of writing songs and creating songs and recording them and doing the whole thing that I loved. And back at the University of Michigan, I ended up in a dorm that had a recording studio in the basement, a student-run recording studio, and learned a whole bunch of stuff back then about doing this on reel-to-reel tape recording and things like that. And and I just loved doing it. And so every once in a while I would do some more of that, and then it was the point where it's like I think I'm done with the full-time software thing. It wasn't more that I really wanted to get out of it. And during the pandemic, we bought a place up here on Whidbey Island, and it had a 4-car garage, and I don't have 4 cars. So took half of that and made it into a little studio.
Nice.
Made it soundproof so that when you're recording a song, and I think musician will know this, that you play the same part over and over and over and over and over again. And to anybody who's not involved in that, it's really annoying. But if you're doing it, you need to do that so you can hear it, and you're making all these little fine tweaks and stuff like that. So building a room that was soundproofed meant that I could do that and not bother anybody else.
Right.
And I could do that without having any, cars or dogs or whatever it is barking while I'm trying to record vocals or guitars or something like that. And so once I set up the space, it was like, okay, wait, I could do this for real now. And that sort of coincided with the, hey, I'm sort of feel like I'm done with the software business, and which has an ironic twist on that one, but we'll get that later.
Okay.
So I just started writing songs and realized that I can do this full time now. And I think that's what 20 to 30 years in software will do for at least. Let's set up where you can dedicate your time to this. I'm very appreciative of that. So I started doing this all the time, and then writing with other people and getting involved with a bunch of different songwriter communities and collaborating and writing with other groups of people and producing the songs, and did my first album very early, actually. I go back and look at it, like, there's some songs in there that I love, but it's clearly early. But then I spent a bunch, just did a lot of writing, and you do a lot of it, and you keep at it, and you get better at it. And so the songs have gotten better, the production has gotten better, the collaborations have gotten better, and so I just love that it's just so satisfying to be able to come in here each day and just work on it and write some new songs, and the tough part's keeping track of all of it, because there's a lot.
Right, no doubt. Are you doing everything yourself in terms of the instruments? Is all the playing on these? Is that all you?
Yeah, these are all me.
Okay.
And I, as you've listened to it, so there's a few songs where I have some guest vocalists in.
Yeah.
And those usually often those people that I write with, they'll join in for one of the songs we collaborate on. But most of the songs there are just me. I wrote them myself and produced the whole thing and recorded, and it's all me.
Okay. Wow. I mean, that must be incredibly liberating. I mean, it sounds like you enjoy collaboration, but at the same time, I would imagine to be able to do so much of it yourself, aside from, guest vocalists, as you mentioned, I mean, that's got to be pretty satisfying, I would guess.
It is. And I think it comes from I don't know, maybe not the best place of, I don't like getting stuck where I'm blocked on waiting for someone else to be able to finish something. Right.
Yep.
And if it was a point where it's like, oh, I'd love to do more, but, oh, I need them to do this, but they're busy, or they, I can't get back, they won't get back in touch with me, or those kinds of things. And I hate the idea of being stuck.
Yes.
Blocked on it. And so by being able to do any of the parts, I'm never blocked, right? So I can always finish songs and release them and those kinds of things. And I'm not stuck behind someone else. But at the same time, there are songs that I write sometimes, that we write, that are songs to be sung by a woman. And
right.
I can't do that. So that's, having a group of people that I can write with or call on and say, hey, I think this song would be amazing with your voice.
Yeah.
And having them be able to jump in is just wonderful.
Well, with AI tools though, and you know this, you probably could.
I've played around with that
Yeah.
a little bit, but I don't like the results.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're getting better, but it's there's something that definitely feels more connecting
Yeah.
with an actual person singing it
Oh
than
yeah,
with the AI voices. I mean sometimes the AI voices are a little bit too perfect. Sometimes they're
that's true.
they don't breathe because they don't have to breathe.
That's true.
So the way that they sing something, it starts to feel something just a little bit off in it. And so yeah, it's so I've tried it, and for if I'm writing something for a film or a TV show or something like that, then something for a synced opportunity, it doesn't quite matter as much if you use some of those things sometimes. But but if I can get an actual person singing it, it's always going to feel a bit more connected.
Right. Have you been surprised by the reception? I saw something here from Spill Magazine. Said it's infectious, feel good rock, introspection and hope, a sonic smorgasbord. That's pretty cool. That's definitely high praise. Yeah.
No, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been just a little over a month since the album came out. And yeah, it's been really just wonderful to see, the reviews of it have been great. The people I've heard from who've listened to it have really enjoyed it. There's a lot of different sort of, it's a little bit more stylistically diverse than my second album, which is a little bit more sort of power pop, pop punk type stuff.
Yeah.
And this album has some of that certainly, but with songs like Isotope and Falling From Down, which are definitely harder rock kind of songs, which, and I come from, in those bands in the 80s, we played a lot of, hard rock metal songs like Black Sabbath and, whatever. And so I love a good crunchy guitar part. And so I loved doing those tunes. But then songs like You at My Door, which has Liliana Tani singing on it, is, a more sort of traditional piano ballad song, but with a bit of a shift in it, a twist in the story. And that's, that was sort of a different thing, but I just loved that song so much that part of me was like, I just want to have it on the album. And then when I got her to sing it, it was great.
Yeah. I'm curious too. I have to ask you, and you probably get this question a lot, but being where you are geographically, I mean, has that influenced your sound at all? Or I mean, being in Seattle or Seattle adjacent? Are you actually in Seattle, or are you in one of those suburbs?
I was in Seattle. I lived in Seattle. We lived in Seattle until we bought this place up here, and we moved up here. I've been in the area since the 90s. So it's I've been all over the area basically. But we were in Seattle proper for a while, which was great until the pandemic. And
Yep.
A little less so. I mean, it was still fine, but it was, you couldn't go do a lot of the things that were great about being in the city.
Right.
So I mean, I love the Seattle bands, particularly from the 90s, the Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Soundgarden, and all of that sound is just was huge. And there's a lot of 90s sound in what I do. Absolutely.
So
absolutely, it's a huge influence. I wasn't actually here for most of the 90s, so I wasn't here during the early 90s when all this stuff was happening, because I was in Massachusetts then. But it was it's still part of the feel here. You go to the airport and there's all sorts of pictures in the airport of Pearl Jam and Nirvana.
Well, I can imagine,
Hendrix and all these things, because it's just a big part of what Seattle is, and the feel is still there for that.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, by the way, where does the name Audio Gust come from? What's the meaning behind Audio Gust?
So I guess there's two parts of it. One, I can't use my regular name, Chris Evans, because there's an awful lot of them out there.
Yeah, common name. One of them being very famous.
Some of them are very well known.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are, there's another one in England who's very well known. And so I needed to have an artist name that was something else. So Audio Gust it was something that I could get that was available.
Yeah.
And so weren't a lot of other people doing it. But you could think of like singing as just sort of a combination of wind, air, and sound.
Yeah.
And all sound really is sort of waves, and it's just sort of vibrations through the air. So it's moving air. So it is sound. It is motion. It is just sort of a cross of sound and motion.
Yeah. That makes sense. I like it. It's a cool name. Definitely a cool name. We're almost out of time, Chris. It goes quickly. What's the ironic twist about your software career?
So as I was writing all of these songs, and when you write a song, there's a whole bunch of information you need to track along with it. Like, first, of course, what are the lyrics and what key is it in? But also, like, what do I need to do still on this recording of it? And where have I registered it with all the different places you register songs with, and what's the link to it on Spotify versus Apple Music versus whatever else? And so I did what a software guy does, is I wrote an app that I use to track all of my songs and all of my recordings and all the people that I write with, and the current state of all of them. And I've recently realized, after showing to a bunch of people and letting them sort of play around with it, that I need to release this app because it's a really, really useful tool for songwriters and music producers and such to do this. So sometime in the next month or two, I'm going to be releasing this app called Studio Notes, which is exactly that. It's an app for organizing all of your songs, and it's not, I don't store the music on there. There's plenty of places where you can actually store the files, but it's it's all of the information about all of the songs you write, and the recordings of them, the current state of them, and the collaborations, and who's signed what agreements, and all of those kinds of things.
Oh, that is extremely cool and very useful, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners will enjoy hearing about that, because a lot of musicians and people who make up our audience, there's a lot of musicians, a lot of industry people. So that's very cool. So it's called Studio Notes?
Yeah, and the website is up right now. You can't actually, app is not on the store yet.
Okay.
The website is studionotes.app.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. Because the website's up there. The link to go to the store, of course, doesn't work yet because the app's not in the store. But if anybody's curious, you can go and sort of see what it's about. And send me a comment or whatever if you're interested, and I'll make sure to let everybody who does know when it's actually up and live in the store. But I'm sort of finishing it up now. Oh,
extremely cool. Very good. Very good. Chris, I wish we had more time. I could definitely talk to you longer. You're an interesting guy, and I love your music. But yes, we are approaching the top of the hour, so we'll start to wind down. I'm going to close the segment with this track Easier that we were talking about. This is another great song from the album. But where's the best place for people to go to learn more and keep up with everything that you're doing as Audio Gust?
Audiogust.com is the website.
Perfect.
Sort of the center of everything. You can follow me, of course, on Audio Gust Music on Instagram, or I'm on Threads and a bunch of those places. But the core of that would be audiogust.com, is where I usually try to keep everything up to date. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chris, thank you so much. We're going to play this track in a moment. Easier. Love the song, and I love the album, and congratulations on everything that you're doing. And we look forward to having you back when you've got new music, or we might even have you back on sooner to talk about the app when it comes out. Because like I said, I think a lot of our listeners would be very interested in that. But I love the album, Falling From Down. Everyone should listen to the whole thing. It's really, really good. So we'll hit that track and we'll let you go for now. But Chris Evans, Audio Gust, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. I appreciate it a bunch. All right. Bye-bye. Absolutely. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. What an interesting guy. Chris Evans, his project is Audio Gust. We're going to play this track, Easier, and we are rapidly approaching the end of the show, so that'll probably be it for this week. Thank you to everybody who joined us today. Of course, the guys from Down Boys, they were in studio with us. That was wonderful. We talked to Jesse Kilgus and Dotson Moon, and a nice busy show. And let's see. If you want to keep up with everything I'm doing, sometimes I forget to plug my own website, mattconnarton.com. If you miss any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit, wmnhradio.org, and at my website, mattconnarton.com. And that's going to do it for us for now. We're going to talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody. And here it is. This is Easier, and the project is Audio Gust.
I shouldn't watch the headlines. Stirred up anger wrecks my mind. I see all the warning signs, so I don't sleep that well at night. Some days it would be easier if I didn't know. Coastline shifting epic storms, doing less the more we're warned. Pride in being uninformed, so I follow every failing moon. Some days it would be easier if I didn't know. If I didn't know. If I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. Wake up early and I jump out of bed. I step outside and join the sun on my neck. Ain't got no worries, taking space in my head. Only wondering why my neighbors seem on edge. I know what I think, I wouldn't need any proof. If it's good for me, it should be good for you too. My confidence would be the proof that it's true. But then I might get confused. And if I turned on the news, I was raised on Uncle Sam. Behind every flaw, believe the history flew the flag. Put my soul in self-control. Now the virtue fades to crap. Corporations back sociopaths. So I resist but face the facts. Some days it would be easier. Most days it would be easier. Every day would be easier if I didn't know.
You're listening to WMNH 95.3. The commander to the supreme leader, Matsu coming down. You're listening to Matt Connarton Unleashed on WMNH 95.3. Point three.
You are listening to WMNHLP 95.3 FM, broadcasting from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 119 Canal Street and licensed to